The sun does arise and make happy the skies, the merry bells ring to welcome the spring. The skylark and thrush, the birds of the bush sing louder around to the bells' cheerful sound, while our sports shall be seen on the echoing green. Old John with white hair does laugh away care, sitting under the oak among the old folk. They laugh at our play, and soon they all say, such were the joys when we all, girls and boys, in our youth time were seen on the echoing green. Till the little ones weary no more can be merry, the sun does descend, and our sports have an end. Round the laps of their mothers, many sisters and brothers, like birds in their nest, are ready for rest and sport, no more seen on the darkening green.
Thank you for joining me, Mr. Blake.
My pleasure.
Alright, let's get started. Tell me a little bit about your early life.
Well, I was born in the Soho district of London, England on November 28, 1757. I didn't go to school for very long. I was homeschooled by my mother most of the time. When I was 4 years old, I remember seeing God's head in my window, and I also saw a tree full of angels when I was 10.
A tree full of angels? That's strange. Did you have any other visions throughout your life?
I saw the prophet Ezekiel under a tree, and also when my favorite brother Robert died, I saw his spirit ascend through the ceiling.
Well, did you have any other schooling besides the homeschooling by your mother?
When I was 21 years old, I admitted myself into the Royal Academy of Arts School Design.
In 1776, you would have been almost 18 years old. At the same time, the United States was being formed away from Britain. What was your opinion on that?
I thought it was a good thing. Britain wasn't treating America the right way. What with all the taxes and different laws, Britain was trying to control them way too much.
How did being a poet during the Romantic era influence your works?
I really learned to appreciate nature and all the things around me. All of my poetry and art was filled with emotion, passion, and individuality.
Interesting. Now tell me a little bit about your wife.
I married Catherine Sophia Boucher in August of 1782. She was illiterate when I married her, but I taught her how to read, write, and color. She supported me through everything till the day I died.
And how did you feel death coming?
I started having recurring bouts of a disease that was known as that sickness to where there is no name. I died on August 12, 1827. Doctors eventually figured out that I died from liver disease.
Well, that's all my questions. Thank you for meeting with me today, Mr. Blake.
No trouble.
Hi. Over the past couple weeks, we've spent a lot of time researching and learning when it came to this poem. We will show you how to navigate our bibliography and to see where our information and the sources the information came. So we have the images we use from the montage video and all the other ones together. So I'm going to be referring to them as the first source, the second source, the third source, but it's the first source that doesn't say digital image on the little site. So if you look at our bibliography, the first source cited is the Blake Archive.org. That's where the sources come from. From there, we learned about Blake's early life in London. We chose this source because it's an archive and they're reliable, and it's helpful in the study of this poem because you get a little taste of where this poem came from. The second site we used is from a website called faculty.unlv.edu. And from this website, we learned about the Romantic period, and we used this information in the video when William Blake was talking about how much passion and stuff he showed in his work. We chose this site because it's reliable, because you can tell because the .edu, and it's helpful because we can learn a little bit about this era in poetry and the influences at the time. The third source we cited is from a website called biography.com. On that website, we found out about his wife and his death. We chose this site because, well, it was like his entire biography on a webpage, and we discovered a lot about his wife because he spent a lot of time with her that influenced him, was a big part of his life. And about his death, we learned about how he's feeling right before it. He died of actual liver disease, but they called it the death that could not be named. And basically, we know that he experienced a lot of pain from that, and so that helped us. And it was interesting. So the fourth site we used was crossrefit.info/text guide. And from this site, we learned that Blake didn't approve of the way the British were treating the colonists, like he didn't agree with the taxation and things like that. And we used it because, well, the source is reliable, and it's useful in the poem because we get to see like a lot of his political views, which is interesting and helps with like the time period and about. So the fifth source we used was an article from the Gale Library database, which is actually a database from Navarro. And from this source, we learned that Blake claimed that he saw angels in trees, like as he was walking down a path. He claimed that he saw the prophet Ezekiel, and he claimed to see his favorite brother's name Robert, and he claimed when he died he saw the spirit rising out of his body into the ceiling. And so that was just really interesting, for one, and two, it like helps you kind of get into the mindset and how he saw things and how he was really like intuitive and things like that. And so that's how that was. The two other things cited, besides the 5 that I just named, were the digital images, which is all the images that came with the oral reading, and the second that wasn't out of these 5 was the actual reading of the poem that's at the beginning of our little project. And so those are both cited as well. Thank you for your time. Have a great day.